Can I speak to Rebecca, please?
This is she.
Hey, Rebecca, how are you? This is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning.
Who is this?
Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning. I'm calling you because one of our listeners recently sent us an email about you, and I wanted to ask you some information.
About me? An email about me?
Yes. It's a segment that we do on our show. It's called The Second Date. It's basically if you go out on a date with somebody and then don't call them back, they email us to see if we can get you on the phone and ask why.
Okay.
Have you been out on a lot of dates recently?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I've definitely been dating. I'm single, so.
All right. Well, this guy's name is Chuck. You know Chuck? Is that a yes? Is that a yes? You know him and you're not impressed by Chuck? Because that's what it sounded like to me. Or you don't know who Chuck is?
I know who Chuck is.
Okay. I'd appreciate it if you could just tell us maybe why you're not calling him back.
I mean...
He said you guys met at a singles mixer and ended up going to an art exhibit.
That's true.
Okay. He said at the art exhibit he was trying to act like he was smart and knew everything about art when in fact he really doesn't know much at all. And he thinks that you saw through that, and that's why you're not calling him back.
I thought he knew a lot about art, so...
Oh, you did?
Really? Oh, so he fooled you.
He pulled it off?
I thought he knew what he was talking about. I mean, I don't know too much about art either, so maybe that was...
Really?
That's awesome. Okay, so there's some common ground between you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good time. He's very charming and a little rough around the edges, but in a way that was nice and what I liked.
So if the date went really well, then why did you sound so disgusted when I brought up his name?
Well, he kind of creeped me out. I mean, and not for anything that happened on the date. The day went well. I came home. I felt good. You know, went to bed, and the next morning I got up and logged into my Facebook, and I had a ton, like hundreds of notifications.
Whoa.
And I was like, what's going on? Why? And he'd gone through, like, every single profile photo that I've ever posted and liked them. So all of the notifications were him liking my photos. And they were photos, I, like, swear to you, from, like, the beginning of my Facebook, like, lifetime. Like, I mean, when did Facebook start? This must have been from, like, 2006 or 7. Like, maybe even before that. Like,
oh, man. Anytime anybody's ever been on my thing and I get a like from, like, 5 years ago, like, oh, that's creepy.
No, it's totally creepy. And what's worse, it didn't just stop at Facebook, though. He went to my Instagram and, like, left a few comments, too, on, like, old postings, like, kind of in a way that seemed aggressive almost. It was like, thank God I didn't have a Twitter account, or, like, what would he do? He's
retweeting tweets from 10 years ago.
I mean, you're telling me that you didn't look up all of his old pictures and Instagram?
Well, that's a good... I did look at photos, but I didn't, like him, and I did not go back to, like, the beginning of his Facebook profile and be like, oh, you look adorable as a 24-year-old or whatever, whenever Facebook started. But that's, like, a huge red flag to me that... I mean, whether or not he knows the etiquette.
Thank you for sharing that with us, by the way. There is a difference between just looking at the photos. We know everybody social media stalks. We know that. There's a difference between looking at it and a difference between liking those pictures. Every single one, and old ones.
I think that's too far.
You're telling me that if somebody went on your Facebook, a guy that you dated, and started liking pictures from like 5 years ago, and how many pictures do you have on your Facebook, Rebecca?
Oh my God. I mean, like hundreds, like over 1,000 for sure. Like,
he didn't like over 1,000 photos, though.
He liked like 600 of my normal photos, like photos I tagged in, photos I posted, like all of my photos.
Wow.
I think there was even a few events that he like liked on the way. Like, who does that?
That must have taken him a lot of time.
He's up all night.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's even creepier. I mean, that makes me want to not friend anyone ever. Like,
you know what? This might creep you out too, because he's actually on the other line listening and wants to talk to you.
Let me get this straight. You don't like the fact that I like your stuff? I mean, why would you put
That's a bad way to say it.
on the internet if you didn't want people to look at it and, like, comment on it? I mean, I just wanted to know more about you, you know? I really like you. I wanted a little background on you, you know?
I mean, is like 600 of my photos like enough background? Like, how much background did you need? Like, did you need to go back to what I looked like in 2006 and like enjoy that moment of my life? Like, I never assumed that someone was going to go back and like every photo and leave comments. Like, I mean, Chuck, you found a photo of me when I was 24 and blonde and posted something like, hey, blonde bombshell. I mean, like, you posted that on that. Like, why would you do that?
It's true. You were a blonde bombshell. I wasn't lying. Forgive me for thinking that you were attractive at age 24.
But don't you think that's weird? Like, you posting on these photos from, I mean, on my Instagram, too, like, how long did it take you to do that? You sifted through 600 photos at least. I mean, were you up all night?
Well, I don't really sleep very much, so I was just up online, and just sifting through photos.
Oh my God. Does that not creep anyone else out? Like, am I alone in this?
I kind of still think that he's likable and that you should give him a chance. I know that sounds crazy and I know it's really creepy, but he really doesn't sound like he gets it. Like, Chuck, do you just not understand how social media works?
Well, apparently I don't. I mean, if you're not supposed to like things, why is there a like button if you're not supposed to use it?
You're supposed to.
Put that there. I don't understand.
Because you're supposed to use it sparingly, Chuck. Like, use the like button like a precision sniper. One shot, right? You don't just go through with a semi-automatic weapon and just blow a bunch of likes across somebody's Facebook page. It's going to creep them out.
I thought it was a nice thing, if somebody went through my photos and liked them or commented on them, I would be, really flattered. That's why they're up there, so people can enjoy them. I was surprised that Rebecca didn't like any of my photos the next morning.
I looked at your photos, but I didn't, go through it and like them all, because, it's so creepy.
Creepy, or is he just more honest than any of us? Because at least he admits that he went through and stalked it instead of pretending like he didn't.
Rebecca, I would love to ask you if you'll go on a second date with Chuck. We will pay for it.
I promise I won't like you. And then I'll go back and I'll stay up all night and I'll unlike all the photos if you want, if that makes you feel better.
Come on.
I did have a really good time. That totally creeps me out, but maybe you are just more honest than the rest of us with our Facebook stalking.
Okay, so you'll go out with Chuck again?
I think, yes, I think I'll.
Good.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Way to go,
Congratulations, Chuck. You got your second date. Now, I want to point out, you did get a date by a girl going, I guess.
I'll take it.
All right, whatever it is, you'll take it.
A win's a win.